Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. So far, the Triple H-led creative regime has largely impressed the WWE universe with its interesting plots and storylines. Recently, the game delivered a record-breaking WrestleMania in Las Vegas, where John Cena became a 17-time world champion. Besides this, since Triple H has taken over as WWE's chief content officer, he has broken some long-standing rules set by Vince McMahon. In this article, we will discuss 4 long-standing Vince McMahon rules that the King of Kings has broken so far. For several years, WrestleMania wasn't numbered. It was reported that Vince McMahon decided to take the number out of Mania's logo in 2014. Vince believes that Mania without a number offers a fresh vibe to the shows every year, rather than making it a traditional sequence. Over the past few years, however, the numbers have been added back to the event's logo and marketing materials. This shows that the cerebral assassin has broken the rules set by McMahon during his era in WWE under Vince McMahon's control. The superstars were restrained from calling themselves professional wrestlers on television. The former chairman wanted WWE superstars to be separate from professional wrestlers of other promotions. In recent years, however, many stars, including CM Punk, Cora Jade, and Randy Orton, have called themselves professional wrestlers on WWE television. This seemingly confirms that Triple H has put an end to the long-standing restrictions set by Vince in the sports entertainment juggernaut. When the former chairman was in charge, he preferred to have America the Beautiful as a theme on major shows like WrestleMania instead of the national anthem of the United States. Reports disclosed that Vince hated the national anthem and hence preferred the other song. However, at WrestleMania 40, it was seen that the King of the Kings had Grammy winner Coco Jones on the show to perform the national anthem. This implies that Triple H has broken another rule set by Vince under his charge. Back in October 2024, AJ Styles suffered an injury on SmackDown, and it was revealed that several terms had been unbanned. On that show, the commentators used terms like hospital. Earlier, these words weren't part of television and were not used by the company under Vince's rule. However, the use of these words under Triple H's creative control affirms that another rule is broken under the new era of the CCO in a WWE world that has long operated under the ironclad vision of Vince McMahon. Change once felt impossible. From production quirks to character direction, Vince's fingerprints were all over the product, often to the delight of some and to the frustration of many. But with Paul Triple H Levesque taking over creative control in the post-Vince era, WWE has entered a new age, an age where 4 deeply rooted rules of the McMahon era have been not just bent, but broken completely. In doing so, Triple H has both reshaped the identity of the company and redefined what it means to be a WWE superstar. These broken rules aren't just subtle tweaks. They're seismic shifts in how WWE operates, creates, and connects. The changing of the guard wasn't sudden, but its effects have been profound. Let's explore the 4 long-standing Vince McMahon rules that Triple H has shattered, and what each rebellion against tradition tells us about the new direction of WWE. Breaking the first rule: say goodbye to no wrestling during commercial breaks. For years under Vince McMahon's direction, WWE enforced a strangely rigid policy that wrestling matches couldn't take place during commercial breaks. The idea behind this was to avoid fans feeling like they were missing key in-ring moments while the broadcast cut to advertisements. The unintended result, however, was an awkward series of match restarts, distractions, or 2 out of 3 fall stipulations designed solely to pause the action. It disrupted flow, hampered match quality, and often left audiences groaning at the blatant artificiality. Enter Triple H. Since taking over creative, the game has tossed this policy into the trash where it belongs. Wrestling can, and does, happen during commercial breaks again, with picture-in-picture coverage now regularly used on both Raw and SmackDown. Under the new regime, the integrity of matches is being respected again. Wrestlers can build momentum, psychology can unfold naturally, and audiences feel more immersed. It's a small shift that's had a massive ripple effect. For the first time in years, WWE matches feel like real contests instead of staged television segments dictated by ad schedules. The reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. Hardcore fans appreciate the authenticity, and casual viewers are no longer confused by abrupt pauses in the action. Triple H has subtly reminded the world, yes, this is sports entertainment, but the sport part matters. Breaking the second rule, no mention of other promotions is over. Vince McMahon's WWE operated in a vacuum. No other wrestling company existed on WWE programming. Whether it was NJPW, TNA, ROH, or even AEW in more recent years, none of it ever happened, at least as far as WWE was concerned. Even when signing stars who had found success elsewhere, WWE would act as if they were complete unknowns. Names were changed, histories erased, and fans were expected to pretend the world outside WWE was a myth. Not anymore. Since Triple H took over creative duties, the forbidden wall has cracked open. Now mentions of other promotions have crept into WWE television and interviews, sometimes subtly, other times boldly. When Cody Rhodes returned to WWE in 2022, his AEW legacy wasn't buried. It was celebrated. Commentary referred to him founding another company and succeeding outside the WWE system. That would have been unthinkable under Vince. More recently, Shinsuke Nakamura's NJPW legacy was spotlighted ahead of his clash with Seth Rollins, with WWE airing archival-style footage and acknowledging his history in Japan. Michael Cole has become especially fearless on commentary under Triple H's regime, dropping AEW, TNA, and even NJPW references when context demands it. The floodgates aren't fully open, but the days of pretending WWE is the only universe in pro wrestling are over. And it's a brilliant move. Hardcore fans feel seen. Cross-promotional respect raises the prestige of talent, and WWE no longer insults the intelligence of its audience by ignoring the wrestling world around it. This change reflects one of Triple H's greatest strengths, his understanding of fans. He knows the internet exists. He knows fans love history and context, and he's not afraid to embrace that, forging a more honest, connected WWE in the process. Breaking the third rule, you can't get over on your own, no longer applies. For decades, WWE superstars were told, implicitly or otherwise, that getting over without the company's script was a punishable offense. Zack Ryder learned that the hard way when his self-made YouTube success was squashed rather than celebrated. Rusev Day became a cultural sensation with fans, only to be buried once management decided they hadn't created it. In Vince McMahon's WWE, getting over organically was seen less as a triumph and more as a threat. But under Triple H, that rule is dead. Superstars who catch fire on their own are now encouraged, supported, and pushed. LA Knight is the poster child. The Yeah movement took over WWE crowds in 2023. Chants echoed across arenas. Merchandise sales soared. Under Vince, he might have been ignored or even turned heel to kill momentum. Instead, Triple H leaned in hard. Knight was protected on screen, given marquee matchups, and used as a voice of the people. Sami Zayn is another example. His emotional arc alongside the Bloodline in 2022 and 2023 was never part of the original plan, but fans gravitated toward it, and Triple H adapted accordingly. Instead of forcing the narrative away from him, creative pivoted to let Zayn's story breathe and evolve. The result was one of the most compelling long-term storylines in years. Even women's wrestling has seen the same evolution. Look at Bayley's damaged CTRL or the rise of Tiffany Stratton. Stars allowed to build characters through experimentation and crowd interaction, not just tight scripting and corporate direction. The fear of spontaneity is gone. WWE superstars are finally allowed to be themselves, or at least versions of themselves that connect with the audience. Triple H knows that authenticity sells. That's not just a broken rule. It's a foundational shift in company culture. Breaking the fourth rule, no more over-scripting promos. Vince McMahon was infamous for scripting promos word for word. Wrestlers would be handed pages of dialogue and expected to deliver it verbatim, even if it didn't suit their character, tone, or personality. That led to robotic promos, lifeless backstage segments, and moments that felt more like bad acting than wrestling. Triple H has loosened the reins. Under the new regime, many superstars are allowed to speak in their own voice again. Promos are structured, yes, but not strangled. The outline is there, the language is theirs. That's why Roman Reigns' promos during his Tribal Chief run felt so real. That's why Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Sami Zayn can deliver with confidence. That's why even younger stars like Carmelo Hayes or Braun Breaker in NXT sound authentic, rather than artificial. This isn't reckless improvisation. It's controlled freedom. And it's producing magic. Michael Cole recently confirmed what many fans had suspected. Superstars are no longer handed full scripts for every word they say. Some work with writers. Others go off bullet points. It all depends on the performer, but the trust is there. Triple H has built a locker room culture that values professionalism and preparation, but doesn't suppress individuality. This has led to more memorable promos, better feuds, and more invested fans. When Logan Paul speaks, when Cody Rhodes delivers an emotional monologue, when Becky Lynch fires back with wit, you believe them, because it's them speaking. Under Vince, the fear was always that wrestlers would fumble live TV. Under Triple H, the belief is that they'll thrive, if you just let them be who they are. The bigger picture. What these broken rules say about WWE in 2025. The 4 rules broken by Triple H. No wrestling during breaks, no outside promotion mentions, no unscripted popularity, and no freedom on the mic weren't just guidelines. They were core pillars of the Vince McMahon philosophy. Triple H shattering them isn't about rebellion. It's about evolution. He understands that wrestling has changed. Fans are smarter. Competition is stronger. Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch have redefined how stars are built. The world outside WWE can't be ignored, and the fans who watch WWE are often the same ones cheering for Will Ospreay in AEW or Kairi Sane in Stardom. By breaking these rules, Triple H hasn't just modernized WWE. He's made it feel alive again. There's unpredictability, emotion, and a sense that things matter, and that's something money can't buy. While the fingerprints of Vince McMahon still linger, it's clear. This is now Triple H's house, and it looks like he's remodeling for the future. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.